The Random Jottings of Hinge and Bracket with Dr. Evadne Hinge and Dame Hilda Bracket. With Jean Heywood as Maud and friends and neighbours at Stackton Trestle in Fit for Anything.
Life at the old manse can be very tranquil and relaxing. It would be even more tranquil and relaxing if Evadne didn't live there. But she does. The trouble is, she has a sort of Victorian work ethic, which is somewhat surprising, since her formative years must have fallen well before Victoria's time. But she's one of those who hates to see anybody taking it easy. The moment one sits down, puts one's feet up, reaches for a romantic novel and a glass of medium sherry, she's off. Come on, stir your stumps, she says in that cockatoo-like voice of hers. We live in a world of activity. And before I know what I'm doing something I didn't want to do, like holding the creosote while she creosotes the fence. Well, one morning a week or two back, I was sitting with my feet up, sipping a glass of medium sherry, when she started her old game of trying to make me feel uncomfortable. Oh, do stop pacing about, Evadne. You're creating a draft. Why don't you sit down and relax?
I don't want to sit down and relax.
Then why don't you go out and do something in the garden?
I was doing something in the garden, but it started to rain.
Well, you've got your mackintosh and your lifeboatman's hat, haven't you?
Hilda, it's absolutely bucketing now.
Then go into the kitchen and pickle an onion or something.
I can't go in the kitchen. Maud's in there.
Not still. What on earth's she doing?
Well, you know that apple pie she made? Well, she's sweeping it up off the floor.
There you are, then. You can go in the kitchen and make us another apple pie, can't you?
With her?
No, dear, with apples. It doesn't matter.
Hilda, are you sure you should be drinking sherries at this hour of the morning?
A sherry, dear. I am sipping a sherry. Do you know, I can remember my maternal grandfather, Grandpa Fifield, as we used to call him, and I can remember him being brought a glass of port and a plate of ginger biscuits on a silver salver every morning, sharp at 11 o'clock.
So what?
It's what they used to call civilization, dear. That's all. Gracious living. You must have heard of it.
Yes, I have. It's what my maternal grandfather used to call decadence. Idle hands are the devil's playthings. That's what he always used to say.
He does sound an original thinker. Anyway, I bet he took a drink or two in the mornings. After all, he did own a brewery.
He may on occasion have tasted the ale in the course of his duties, Hilda, but certainly not just for pleasure.
Oh, the ale was rotten, was it?
You know what I mean. It was work first, pleasure later with Grandfather.
Oh, your grandfather must have been a barrel of fun. Now I know who you take after.
He was a fine-looking man. Mother always says I have his eyes.
You look as though you've got his spectacles as well.
I say, just look at that rain, Hilda. No sign of it letting up. I tell you what, how about you and me clearing out the garage?
What on earth for?
Because it's full of junk.
So's your bedroom. If you want something to do, you should go and clear that out. You haven't washed your stuffed owl in months. And that mushroom bag under your bed needs changing.
All right, let's go and do that then.
No, not me, Evadne. You. I am comfortable. I am perfectly happy, and I am not moving.
No wonder you're putting on weight.
Putting on weight?
I think you are, you know, dear.
I am doing no such thing, Evadne. In fact, if you must know, I weigh exactly the same now as I did when I was 23.
Then you must have been very overweight at 23, dear.
Well, it's better than being a beanpole.
You definitely look fat, huh?
Evadne, it might interest you to know, dear, that I can still get into my coming-out dress.
Not without half of you coming out of it, no doubt.
Why can't you go and find something to do? Go and whitewash the coal cellar or something. And leave me to get on with my book. I've just got to a lovely part. She's standing on the balcony in the moonlight, And there's this man who's not a surgeon, but who's just done a heart transplant because no one else was available. And he's just discovered that she's not really a ward orderly at all, but an anaesthetist who's taken the blame for someone else's mistake and is starting all over again from the bottom.
A very funny hospital.
It's a romantic novel, dear.
Sounds like a load of tripe to me.
Well, it's certainly more fun than clearing out the garage.
All right, then let's have a look at it.
No. If you want to read, get your own book.
I don't feel like reading.
Well, I do, but I can see that I'm not going to be allowed to. So I suppose I may as well give up the attempt. Why don't you play something, dear?
What?
Well, we'll play leapfrog if you like. But I meant on the piano.
And I meant, what shall I play on the piano?
Do you suppose the entire ring cycle would occupy you sufficiently?
Come along, Hilda. You choose something.
Oh, very well. Anything to get you sitting down. Now, what have we got that's nice and jolly? Oh, I know. There's that little song that Grandpa Highfield always used to like so much.
Do we have to have something that he liked?
What would you prefer, dear? Something your grandfather might have liked? Oh, now there's a whole book of moral songs here. Let me see. There's Work, Boys, Work and Be Contented. In Gathering Roses, Look Out for the Thorns. Sign the pledge for mother's sake. Or what about The Drunkard's Lone Child, which begins, my father's a drunkard, my mother is dead. How does that feel?
All right, Hilda, we'll settle for Grandpa Fifield song, if it's not too vulgar.
Grandpa Fifield was never vulgar, Evadne, though he was certainly nothing like as stuffy as your Grandpa McWattersons. Ah, here we are, dear. This is the one. Sporting Girls.
Yes, I imagine it'd be something like that.
It is not in the least bit vulgar, dear, but like Grandpa Fifield himself, bless his old silk hat and spats, it is just the teeniest, weeniest bit rakish. Well, if you play it there, you'll find out, won't you?
Very well, then. Here goes.
By the style of our dress, you can easily guess
that we are, yes we are. In fact, all the public in general confess that we are.
Yes, we are. The up-to-date sporting young girls of the town.
At tennis and cricket we've gained quite renown.
At horse racing too, we've
sent many a crown.
For we are,
yes we are. Fond of sporting, sporting. A jolly sight better than courting.
We don't mix about, dashing the millionaires. When we're out, the people shout, they'll begin without a doubt. Look, 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 jolly good sporting girl. We can't always win, still we don't care a jot, for we are.
Yes, we are. The only two ladies at Juice's fine lodgers
we are. Yes, we are. At night times we visit the famed music halls.
The seats that we sit in, you bet, are the stalls.
And we get every act 2 or 3 curtain calls.
For we are.
Yes, we are.
Fond of sporting, sporting. A jolly sight better than courting.
We don't mix about, mashing the millionaires. When we're out, the people shout, there they go without a doubt. Look, 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 jolly good sporting girls. In winter we go to gay Monte Carlo.
For we are. Yes, we are. So fond of the tables where life isn't slow.
For we are. Yes, we are. We stroll through the boulevards without any hang.
We are recognized there to be in the front rank.
We break all their hearts,
and they break the bank.
For
we are.
Yes, we are.
Fond of sporting, sporting. A jolly sight better than courting.
We don't mix about, mashing the millionaires. When we're out, the people shout, there they go without a doubt. Look, 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 jolly good sporting girls. Jolly good sporting girls. takes me back a few years. It was another world, wasn't it?
Yes, but here comes Maud to drag you back into this one.
Excuse me, Dame Hilda.
Yes, Maud.
Might I have a little word with you before I does upstairs?
Certainly, dear. What is it?
You know you was going to have apple pie for lunch.
Well, yes, dear.
Well, how would apple crumble suit?
Crumble?
Well, sort of crumble.
What did you do, Maud? Sweep the pie up off the floor and shove it straight in the oven?
No, I did not, Doctor. I've tinkered with it. And I know what you're thinking, but that floor were clean as a new pin. I just carbolicked it. And the apples ain't tainted because I tasted 'em.
Sounds better and better.
Such a shame I shan't be able to try it.
And what, might I ask, is going to prevent you?
With that, as you so rightly pointed out, I do need to lose a little weight. There. Oh, now, whoever can that be?
I'll go, Dame Hilda, and then I'll get on with me work.
Thank you, Maud. Evadne, go to the window and see if you can see who it is, dear.
Very well.
We might want to hide.
It looks like Peter Moore's car out there.
Oh, good heavens. Them with the cobble kitchen and the cartwheels on the wall. Is she with him?
I can't see her.
Good. Then whatever it is he's come for, it'll only take half the time.
He's fetching something out of the back of his car.
It's not her, is it?
Well, it's something longish, obviously awkward to handle, and it's covered in a sort of folk weave blanket.
That sounds like her.
Whatever it is, he's bringing it in.
Well, heaven alone knows what they'll make of it, but show it to 'em by all means. Well, come along in, then. They're in here.
Oh, thank you. Good morning, ladies.
Ah, Mr. Moore, good morning.
Good morning.
Come in, dear.
I say, Mrs. Print, be a sweetie. Take me tit for off for me, will you? I don't seem to have a spare hand.
Is that what they calls a deer stalker rat?
No. Just a perfectly ordinary black country ratting cap. Father Christmas brought it last year.
Well, what you want me to do with it? Hang it on the hall stand or bung it in a cage?
Hang it on the hall stand, eh?
And do please keep it out of the kitchen, Maud. I'd hate to come across it in the apple crumble.
Mr. Moore, is your wife with you?
No, not this morning, Dame Hilda.
Oh, what a shame. Isn't that a shame, Evadne?
Isn't it a shame, Hilda?
No, Tuesday's her goat morning.
Her what, dear?
Well, we thought we might keep a few goats, so she's joined a goat club. She goes every Tuesday. Last week she did milking, this week it's cheese making. And I'm hoping that next week it'll be how to make waistcoats and trousers.
Goatskin trousers, Mr. Moore?
Only for weekends, of course. I say, you don't think that would be too much, do you?
I don't see why it should. They look all right on goats.
So what brings you here this morning, Mr. Moore?
Ah, yes. Well, this does. Mind if I put it down?
Oh, do, dear, do. What is it?
Well, I'll show you. I had to tie this old poncho of Dee's round it to keep it dry. It's absolutely bucketing down at home.
It's bucketing down here as well.
Ah, there. Now, have a look at that. What do you think of that?
Well, it's a bicycle, isn't it? Without wheels. What did you bring it here for, dear? Do you want Evadne to bury it where she buried her old one?
It's an exercise bicycle, Hilda.
Well done, Doctor. But do either of you notice anything strange about it?
It hasn't got a bell.
What do you want a bell for an exercise bicycle?
To tinkle, Evadne. When one felt in need of refreshment.
I say, that's not a bad idea. I knew it was a bright idea of mine to bring this up here.
Well, I'm glad you're pleased with yourself, Mr. Moore. Perhaps you'll tell us what this is all about.
Oh, I'm sorry, Doctor. You're right, of course. You see, I'm in market research, and my firm has been asked to test the water for what is undoubtedly a revolutionary type of exercise bicycle. Look, it may not have a bell or a basket as yet, Dame Hilda, but it has 2 saddles, 2 sets of handlebars, and 4 pedals. What does that suggest?
It was designed by an idiot.
It's an exercise tandem.
Oh, God.
You see, it's been suggested that whereas cycling is normally a jolly and social affair, exercise cycling is a sad and solitary one. As soon as you start pedalling, everyone leaves the room.
I can't say I blame them.
Hence the loneliness of the long-distance peddler.
Hence the tandem. Now you can pedal together. Husband with wife, brother with sister, uncle with aunt, boyfriend with girlfriend, and so on and so forth. In fact, if the tandem model is successful, the company is thinking of launching a 4-seater family version, individually painted to match the decor of your own rumpus room.
If the idea is successful, Mr. Maud, it would appear from the design that the people are going to be seeing an awful lot of each other's backs.
I say, that's a sharp remark, Evadne. You're getting some good stuff from us, aren't you, Mr. Moore?
Well, to tell the truth, we're a jump ahead of the doctor on that one. Just a few simple tweaks with the box spanner provided, and there we go. Voila! You can sit facing each other, side by side, or even back to back.
That sounds rather antisocial.
Well, presumably, Evadne, that's for people who hate the sight of each other.
Just so. After all, they need exercise as much as anyone else.
And where do we come into this, Mr. Moore?
Well, what I was hoping was that you might agree to my leaving this prototype with you so that you can give it a whirl in your own time, and then let me have your comments. You see, we're eventually planning a famous pairs advertising campaign, Fame and Fitness in Tandem, featuring well-known duos who regularly use the bike. Maggie Thatcher and Dennis, Rod Hull and Emu, and, of course, your good selves, I hope. There'll be a fee, of course, and the bike will be yours.
Just what I've always wanted.
Good. Well, I'll take up no more of your time now, but I'll give you a tinkle in a couple of days just to see how you're getting on. That'll be okie-dokie, will it?
That'll be perfectly okie-dokie, Mr. Moore.
It couldn't be okie-dokie, dear.
Well, I'll be making tracks then. It's all right. I know where the door is. Ciao.
Goodbye.
Arrivederci, Mr. Moore. Where on earth are we going to put that darn thing, Evadne?
Well, how about under the window? And then we can have the window open and get a nice breath of fresh air while we're cycling.
What do you mean, while we're cycling? You're not getting me on that.
Why ever not? You admitted you needed to lose a little weight.
I did not. When did I say that?
You admitted it to me in front of Maud.
Oh, Evadne, what I tell you in front of Maud is usually meant for Maud's ears and has nothing whatever to do with you.
Oh, have it your own way, Hilda. Come on, let's just try the bike.
No. Suppose somebody were to walk past that window and see us. I mean, what would they think? We'd look like a couple of witches on a broomstick. Well, you would.
If you never had the slightest intention of even trying it, dear, you should have told Mr. Moore so at the start.
Why?
Because you're not being fair to him. In a couple of days' time, he's going to want to know what we think of it, isn't he?
And when he does, I shall certainly tell him.
What will you tell him?
I shall tell him that I think it's absolutely marvellous.
Which will be a lie.
What does it matter? It'll make him happy. And probably rich. It will also give a lot of pleasure to a lot of fat fools. So where's the harm?
Honestly, Hilda, I sometimes wonder about you.
I bet it's not half as often as I wonder about you. Why don't you try it?
All right, I will.
Hilda.
No, I won't.
Yes, Maud, what is it?
If there's nothing else you want me for, I'll be getting off home.
No, I don't think there's anything else, dear. Unless you fancy a spin on our new tandem there with the doctor.
No, I don't.
I don't blame you.
How do you get your exercise then, Maud? Tossing the caber?
I get most of it clearing up after you, Doctor.
Well, you asked for that, Evadne, and don't say you didn't.
Do you know, Dame Hilda, I can't look at a tandem without coming over all funny.
Trust you to blame it on a bike.
All right, Evadne, that'll do. You got your own back. But what exactly have you got against tandems, Maud?
My Arthur and me used to have one when we was first married, Dame Hilda. That's how they lost the toll house at the bottom of the hill.
Say, you must have been going at a bit of a lick.
Oh, it weren't like that.
No, I bet it wasn't. That'd be far too simple.
It was Saturday, d'ye see? Well, we get stopped at them lights at the top of the town. And while we stopped, I spots this cake shop window, and I hops off to have a look in. Now, whether it were the cream horns or the Devonshire splits, I don't know, but summat held my attention. And I never see them lights change to green, nor my Arthur peddling off without me.
Do you mean to tell me that he didn't notice that you weren't on the back?
Well, if he did, he didn't show it.
But surely when he discovered you weren't there, he came back for you, dear.
Why should he have done?
Oh, shut up, Evadne. This is a very sad story. How would you like to be left in the lurch? No, I'm sorry I asked that.
Oh, he came back all right, Dame Hilda, but not till it were too late. I were well on me way with the fishmonger by then.
Perhaps we'd better not go into this too deeply there.
He picked me up, you say,
Yeah. Yes, that's what Hilda meant, I think.
to give me a lift, like. See, he'd an aunt as lived in Stockton that liked fish, and hadn't had a bit for some time. He offers to run me home.
I bet Arthur was surprised when you arrived home with a fishmonger, wasn't he?
I didn't arrive home with a fishmonger, Dame Hilda. I arrived home with a special constable, and the man as runs the dodgems.
I'm sorry, did I not off? I seem to have missed something.
See, we gets to top of Wendlebury Hill, and old Fishy Cudlip stops to answer a call of nature. While I goes to look out the back window to make sure I couldn't see him, my bottom, it's the handbrake, and I were off, down the hill, and gathering speed. And that's when I sees the traction engine.
What traction engine?
The traction engineers were coming up the hill towards me, pulling the helter-skelter to the Mayfair on the common. And right behind it, another with the dodgems and all them caravans. Well, I just closes me eyes in praise. And when I comes to, the toll house were gone. The helter-skelter were tipped out on the rubble, the dodgems was in the ditch, the caravans was all over the place, and I were in a haystack with a tattooed lady.
What was she doing? Reading your palm?
She were helping me out, Doctor. Oh, she were a proper lady, despite some of the things she'd got drawed on her. And you know, when I gets home, all my Arthur says to me is, "That's the last time I'm ever taking you out for a pedal."
Well, there you are then, Maud. That machine over there is perfect for you and Arthur. No matter what happens, you can never be separated. So Maud went home, and shortly after lunch, Evadne popped down to the village to post a letter. While I was on my own, I decided to try the bank. It won't be a stylish marriage. We can't afford a carriage. But I'll look sweet upon the seat of a bicycle. Hello!
It's me, Dame Hilda, Peter Moore.
I'm in the drawing room, dear. Be an angel and come round to the garden window, would you? It is open.
Righty-ho, coming round.
There. Ah, Mr. Moore, there you are. Well, come along in.
Thank you. Just, Oh, I'm sorry to disturb you, Dame Hilda, but I left my hat here this morning and Oh, you're on the bike already, are you? Gordo. Any comments so far?
Just one, dear.
What's that, then?
How in heaven's name does one get off this thing?
I say you're not stuck, are you?
Oh, no, of course not. It's just that I can't seem to get off it. My feet don't touch the floor, dear, and I'm terrified of tipping it.
Ah, the saddle's just a touch too high for you.
I knew there'd be a perfectly simple explanation.
I'll soon fix that if you'll just hop off for a minute.
Yes, of course, that's the trouble, dear, you see, the hopping off.
I tell you what, I'll grab hold of the handlebars to steady her. That's it. Now, you put that arm round my shoulders and very gently wheel it. Very gently!
Oh!
Well, that's fine, Dame Hilda, if you feel safer with both arms tight round my neck.
Sorry.
Oh, that's better.
Now, push me upright again, would you? Or can't you do that while you're doing the splits?
I seem to have got myself stuck, I'm afraid. Dee always said these trousers were too tight.
I'm slipping.
Oh, dear, hang on, will you?
Hilda, what on earth is going on?
Oh, Evadne, I never thought I'd be so glad to see you, dear. Do something, would you? Do something, dear.
And what would you like me to do? Jump on your shoulders and complete the pyramid?
Poor Mr. Moore's got himself stuck.
Yes, I tell you what, just push my right leg a little closer to my left and gently lever me into an upright position, will you?
Very well.
Thank you.
Here goes.
Careful.
Gently, Evadne. Gently.
Help! It's tipping the other way.
Oh, quick, doctor. Round the other side. Catch her quickly.
Pull me, Mr. Moore, pull me.
Right,
pull
I've got
me
you.
now.
Don't make such a fuss, Hilda. You think you're on a unicycle. There, that's steady enough.
If you could just let go of my neck once more, Dame Hilda.
Oh, I'm sorry, dear.
Thank you.
Well, I must say this little incident has proved one thing, hasn't it, Evadne?
And what's that?
Well, that with one of these things you can have fun and get a lot of exercise. I bet there's not a single muscle I haven't used.
The Random Jottings of Hinge and Bracket with Dr. Evadne Hinge and Dame Hilda Bracket. With Jean Heywood as Maud and friends and neighbours at Stackton Trestle in A Hive of Activity.
Evadne can be excited by the most curious things. For instance, you should have seen her the time she found a fungoid growth on the apple tree. Well, it kept her happy for weeks. Every time I saw her, she had a bucket of something nasty in one hand and a squirter in the other. But I've never seen her more excited than she was when she came running in from the garden one afternoon during the early part of last summer.
Hilda, guess what's just happened to me?
I haven't the foggiest notion, dear. But you look so flushed that if I didn't know you, I might think it was something interesting. Why is your dress all covered in bits of grass?
I had to throw myself on the ground to avoid them.
Oh, don't tell me those children from up the road have been sitting on the back wall again stoning you.
No, Hilda. It was bees.
Bees?
You know, dear. Buzz, 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 honeybee, honeybee.
I know perfectly well what a bee is, Evadne. I have been in the garden myself when there have been bees about, but I've never had to throw myself on the ground on account of them. You must have upset them. I've told you about poking around in nooks and crannies with that stick of wood.
I was not poking around in nooks and crannies. I was mowing the lawn. And suddenly, I heard this loud humming noise, and I looked up, and there was a swarm of bees coming straight towards me.
And you panicked.
I did not panic.
Then why did you throw yourself to the ground? Oh, I know we all used to do it at one time, dear, but that was for flying bombs. Not just for a handful of bees.
It was not just a handful of bees, Hilda. I told you it was a swarm. The whole sky darkened as they flew across the sun.
Really, Evadne, you make it sound like a 1,000-bomber raid over Berlin. You're sure it wasn't vultures? Now, I could understand vultures going for you.
Well, if you're not afraid of bees, Hilda, come out and have a look at them.
They're not still there, are they?
Well, of course they're still there.
Where?
Well, they went into that old hive down by the hollyhocks.
But that's where my garden seat is, Evadne. That's where I sit and watch the birds.
Well, now you can sit and watch the birds and the bees. You never know, perhaps you'll learn something.
Look who's talking. Anyway, how long are those wretched bees going to be there?
Probably for good.
For good? Surely they could have found somewhere more salubrious than the old hive. It was there when we arrived. We were going to burn it, if I remember correctly.
Yes, you were.
I wish we had. I don't want to have to sit out there all summer covered from head to foot in netting.
Don't be ridiculous, Hilda. One only wears protective clothing when one is getting the honey out.
Oh, I hadn't thought of that. You mean we're going to get honey?
Well, what did you expect from bees? Cranberry jelly? And you know they really couldn't have arrived at a better time.
Oh. Is 2:30 in the afternoon especially propitious?
No, there's an old country rhyme, Hilda. A swarm in May is worth a load of hay. A swarm in June is worth a silver spoon. But a swarm in July is not worth a fly.
You know, Evadne, when I listen to you like that, I sometimes wish you hadn't lined your drawers with the Farmer's Weekly.
They have arrived at the most productive time of year, Hilda. June.
How much honey would we get then?
Well, I believe you can get something like £40 from one hive.
Good heavens. And they sell local honey in the health shop for £1.50 a pound. We could make £60 a hive. How many hives do you think we could cram in down there if we burnt that old garden seat of mine?
Now, steady on, Hilda. Before we go into mass production, we'll need to go into this business thoroughly and find out how we do it first.
You know what, dear? We could have a little stall down by the front gate.
Yes. You'll need somewhere to sit, won't you, once we've burned your garden seat?
We could sell all sorts of goodies. Honey ginger snaps and honey cake and honey fudge. Because we need a trade name, don't we? Now listen, what about Dame Hilda's homemade honey products?
Well, how about Dr. Hinge's homemade honey products?
Oh, no, a bit clinical, that, no. I mean, Dr. Hinge sounds like a quack. Suppose we named it after the house. Homemade honey products from Utopia Limited. And had a smiling bee on the label.
Why would the bee have to be smiling?
Well, because it comes from Utopia, dear. It's a happy little bee. We can have it sitting on a cornucopia, and underneath it there's lovely lines of W.S. Gilbert's. Quaff the nectar, cull the roses, gather fruit and flowers in plenty.
Bees don't gather fruit and flowers.
No, but they quaff the nectar.
They don't cull the roses either. So that's only 1 out of 4.
Yes, but the lines are from the opera Utopia Limited.
Well, who's going to know that?
Anyone who is familiar with the works of Gilbert and Sullivan.
Then you're aiming for a specialised market, are you?
If you are going to make an issue of this, Evadne, we can explain on the label where the lines come from.
You're going to need big labels, aren't you? I mean, what are you going to sell it in? £5 jars?
Quaff the nectar, cull the roses. Bashful girls will soon be plenty. Maid who thus at 15 poses ought to be divine at 20.
Do you want that on as well?
Those are the lines the chorus sing immediately after Lady Sophie's song in Act 1. Remember?
I remember.
Why don't you see if you can find Lady Sophie's song, will you, dear?
Very well.
Of course, it's an absolute age since we did that one, isn't it?
Yes, it is, but I've got the score here somewhere.
Well, I say, Evadne, there is a honey drink you can make as well, isn't there?
Yes, lemon and honey.
No, dear, no. Something a little more exotic than lemon and honey.
Mead.
No, the stuff that the gods drank.
Nectar.
Ambrosia. That's
No,
it.
they ate ambrosia, dear. They drank nectar.
Or was it the other way around?
Might have been.
Well, whatever it was honey of some sort, wasn't it? And it made them immortal. So we could put that on the label, couldn't we? Pure goodness from the honeybee to give you immortality.
I rather fancy the trades descriptions people may have something to say about that.
Well, if they doubt it, I shall point to you. You look as though you've lived forever.
Hilda, do you want to sing this song or not?
Yes, I do.
Then make a beeline for the piano and sing.
Bold-faced raindrop, perfect stranger, meets two well-behaved young ladies. He's attractive, young and active, each a little bit afraid is. Youth advances at his glances,
the danger they awaken. They repel him as they tell him he is very much mistaken, very, very much mistaken. Now they speak to him politely, please observe their steering slightly, just to show he's acting vainly. This is what you say plainly. No way, young bachelor, we are not what you take us for. We're addressed impertinently. English ladies answer gently. Go away, young bachelor, we are not what you take us for. We're addressed impertinently. English ladies answer gently. Go away, young bachelor, we are not what you take us for. As he gazes, at he raises, enters into conversation, makes excuses. This produces interesting agitation. He with daring and despairing gives his card, his ring, discloses little heeding this proceeding. They turn up their little noses, yes, their little noses. Way above this mess of white-wool, when a man of rank and title his position first discloses, always pluck your little noses. When at first it all would pass, try this in the looking glass. English girls of well-bred notions, shuttle on rehearsed emotions. English girls of highest class, practice them before the glass. Pre-observed and cogent moral, English ladies never quarrel. We don't take all the heart, English ladies always hoss.
Well, I must say, Evadne, you played that with remarkable panache. Quite the bee's knees, dear.
Thank you, dear.
Oh, that sounds like Maud back with the shopping.
I think we'd better warn her about the bees, Hilda.
How nice of you to think of her, dear.
I wasn't thinking of her. My concern was for the bees. I suggest we place that hive out of bounds to her.
Yes, perhaps you're right, dear. Maud! Maud!
Come in, Dame Elder.
I'll tell her, dear. I don't want her to be upset.
Yes, Dame Elder.
Yeah. You know that beehive in the garden down by the hollyhocks near my seat?
Yes, Dame Elder.
Well, the doctor tells me it's full of bees.
Does she now? Well, I don't know what she's been insinuating, but I'll not have that laid at my door.
I wasn't trying to lay it at anyone's door, Maud. They arrived in a swarm a short while ago and occupied the old hive.
Oh, did they, Doctor? Then I hope you ain't looking to me to go down and smoke 'em out.
Oh, we don't want them smoked out, dear.
We're just trying to warn you not to interfere with them.
Do I look like an half-wit, Doctor?
Don't answer that, Evadne.
Do I look the sort of person who'd be daft enough to go interfering with a hive full of bees?
Don't answer that either, Evadne.
Well, do I?
Of course you don't, Maud. Evadne, stop biting your lip, dear. It's gone all white. Right. No, Maud, we just wanted to warn you that they were there, dear. That's all.
We're going to keep them, you simply breed them, and eventually fill that whole area of the garden with hives.
And who's going to hang your washing out then, Doctor?
My washing?
Certainly ain't going to be me. Not if there's bees about. Them sort of things don't take to me.
I wonder why.
No right to them. Bees and wasps, they's all the same. I had my education almost ruined by a wasp.
You intrigue me, dear. What did it do?
It stung old Birdie Finch, that's what.
And who was Birdie Finch?
She were my teacher at the old village school, Dame Elder. Her name was Miss Finch, but we all called her Birdie.
How very original.
Anyhow, we was all in class one morning, and old Birdie Finch was standing on her little platform, writing fractions on her blackboard, when I see this wasp hovering over her head. "There's a wasp," I shouts. Well, you should have seen her jump. "Who shouted that about a wasp?" says Birdie. "I did," says I. "Then where is it?" says she. "I dunno," says I. "You're a liar," says she. "I ain't," says I. And I chucks me inkwell at her.
Talk about Tom Brown's school days.
Well, she ducks, and it sails right out through the open window beside her. And you know, that daft old headmaster of ours chooses that very moment to go wandering by that window.
It makes you wonder how they get their degrees, doesn't it?
You should have seen his face. Well, I'd only just filled them inkwells. The headmaster comes storming in and he says, "Who threw that inkwell out the window?" And the whole class points at me and shouts, "She done."
You must have been popular.
I were. They was just waiting to see me kick him.
Were you in the habit of kicking the head then, dear?
I done it afore, when he come too close. But I didn't get no chance this time, 'cause just as I were raising me boot, Birdie Finch finds that wasp.
Where was it?
Up her skirt. Well, she shrieks and goes all rigid. So the headmaster goes to get it out. Talk about a pantomime. He might have been a BA and an MA and all, but he'd lot to learn about women and wasps. And the upshot was, it stung her. And she gave a shriek, and she kicks him instead of me.
Well, it certainly sounds like a lively morning there, but I don't see how that ruined your education.
I ain't no good at adding up, am I?
Well, not much, dear, no.
And you blame it on that wasp, do you?
Well, it were that wasp has interrupted that maths lesson.
How lucky it didn't happen during an English lesson.
I say, who can that be?
I'll go.
Thank you, dear. I say, Evadne, I do hope Maud's not going to be silly about those bees.
How do you mean, dear?
Well, if she won't hang the washing out, what else is she going to be unable to do on their account?
Who knows? But they do say bees are lucky. They may stop her coming altogether.
Shh. Evadne, not so loud, dear.
Excuse me, Dame Hilda.
Yes, dear, who was it?
It's him as is caretaker at the Co-op Hall, Dame Hilda. He's come about them bees.
Oh, they're not complaining already, are they? Does he look as if he's been stung?
He looks as if he's frightened of being. He's wearing big leather gloves and he's holding a wicker basket in one hand and an hat with a veil on it in t'other.
Oh, perhaps he's going to a wedding, dear.
He's obviously a beekeeper, Hilda. Now, this could prove fortuitous. We could do with a few tips. Now, show him in, will you, please, Maud?
And then make us all a nice pot of tea, dear, would you?
Very well, Dame Hilda. You can go along in then, they'll see you.
Just listen to her, Hilda, the epitome of graciousness.
Ah, good afternoon, ladies.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
Oh, I don't suppose you remember me. The name's Rampling.
I remember perfectly well, Mr. Rampling. We once had a slight disagreement over whether or not 4 40-watt bulbs were adequate to light the Co-op Hall for a Christmas dance.
Yeah. You wanted 60 watts, didn't you? And a string of Chinese lanterns.
I'm afraid, Mr. Rampling, that Dame Hilda occasionally suffers from delusions of grandeur.
Yeah, and what was the upshot? You fused the place. I warned you about that. That wiring will only take 4 40s, that is, if you want both bars of the fire on as well.
Anyway, what brings you here today, Mr. Rampling?
I've come for the bees.
What bees?
My bees that are in your hive.
Well, how do you know they're your bees?
'Cause I saw them swarm and I followed them here. They went down my garden, along Culpeper Lane, across the allotments, over the railway, down the field behind the Wesleyan Chapel, and into your garden and hive. I climbed on the garden wall and had a look. Wasn't very easy with my leg.
What's the matter with your leg?
Why, it's just an old war wound, you know. Shrapnel. At one stage of the desert campaign, I was the only thing that stood between Rommel and Cairo. Me on my motorbike, and out of petrol. Mercifully, he didn't know that, or he'd have been through in a flash, I shouldn't wonder.
Get back to the bees, Mr.
Rampling.
That legal position is quite fair, Hilda. They're ours. The law it has been changed Roman time.
But no, that.
Wait a minute, I kept those bees inside all the way here. They're mine.
Then why has it taken you so long to come and tell us? If you were on top of the garden wall, as you say, you could have shouted.
Yes, you could have shouted at me. I was in the garden at the time.
Oh, don't confuse the issue, dear. You were lying on the grass. If he saw you, he'd probably have thought that it was our scarecrow that had blown over.
I didn't see anyone. And I didn't think I'd have all this bother either. So I went home to fetch a skep and the rest of my things before disturbing you.
Now, that's where you made your big mistake, Mr. Rampling. You should have left your shovel on the wall.
What did you say, no?
Law, Hilda.
Yeah.
Mr. Rampling, are you cognizant with Flora Thompson's book, Lark Rise to Candleford?
Lark Rise to what?
Candleford.
Yeah, no, I can't say I am. I'm not a great reader. My eyes, they're not up to it anymore. The effect of the blazing sun on the desert sand.
Yes.
Standing there day after day, staring towards the horizon, looking for them Germans who come in.
Yes. But I mean, what a pity you didn't have Lark Rise to Candleford with you. You could have read it while you were waiting.
You see, Mr. Rampling, according to Flora Thompson, as soon as one sees one's bees swarming, one grabs a coal shovel and an iron spoon, and one follows them all the way, banging the spoon on the shovel and shouting, "Tang, tang, tangity, tang," to let people know they're yours.
Do you know, I'm sure there's a dash of Romany blood in you somewhere.
Then, having seen where one's bees have gone, one leaves one's shovel to mark one's claim.
There you are then, Mr. Rampling. You appear to have forfeited your claim. We found no coal shovel on our wall.
Well, if you ladies are so set on having those bees, you'd better keep them, I suppose. I just hope you knows what you're doing, that's all. They could be killer bees, for all you know.
Killer bees? What are killer bees?
Oh, well, some farmers use them instead of barbed wire for keeping nosy people off of their land. You go near them, they'll sting you to death.
Perhaps we should let him remove them, Evadne, dear, just in case.
Nonsense, Hilda. He's only trying to frighten us.
Well, please yourselves, but don't say I didn't warn you. I must say, you surprise me, you two. I mean, I've always thought you was something odd about you. I'd have put you down there. I'd have put you down for eccentrics, or cranks, or even nutters. But I'd never have put you down for bee thieves.
Well, after a few harsh words said on both sides, we offered to pay Mr. Rampling for the bees. But he said trading bees for money was unlucky. So, finally, he went off with 12 jars of Evadne's homemade quince jelly. And he seemed quite happy. Mind, for the first few days, I was very wary of those bees. But after a while, I grew quite brave. I actually began talking to them. Well, you see, I read somewhere you should tell them all the household gossip. So every time I passed the hive, I stopped and told them something. I bet Evadne's ears were burning. Then, one afternoon, I discovered that disaster had struck, and I hurried into the drawing room to tell Evadne. Evadne, the bees are doing something funny, dear.
No, you haven't been down there singing to them, have you?
I just went down to tell them what we had for lunch.
That must be a dozen times you've been down there so far today.
Well, I've had a lot to tell them, dear. First there was my funny dream. Then there was the heel coming off my shoe. There was you getting a rotten egg at breakfast.
Oh,
and
that you don't go on. So what are they doing that's funny?
I think they're swarming again or something. They're all in a sort of mass on a branch of the apple tree.
All of them?
Well, I didn't actually count them individually. But it looks like all of them to me.
Well, in that case, they're not swarming. They're absconding.
Absconding? They're not school children.
Going, all of them, leaving us. They'll stay on the tree long enough for the scouts to find them a new home, and then they'll be off. And bang goes your honey store.
But why should they want to go off and leave us?
Well, when bees desert the hive, it can be for one of several reasons, Hilda. There may be a lack of food or water.
Oh, nonsense. They've been living like kings. Or should I say queens?
Or it could be due to excessive interference by the beekeeper. Or someone.
What are you looking at me for?
Well, I must say, I would abscond if every half hour someone in a straw hat and ostrich feather came tapping on my roof to tell me a lot of trivial nonsense about rotten eggs and shoe heels.
They're supposed to like being talked to.
Maybe, but perhaps they don't enjoy being nattered at.
I do not natter, Evadne.
Now, the immediate problem, Hilda, is to get them off that tree and back into the hive. We'll need a box or a basket and a soft brush.
What are you going to do with them, dear?
Brush them off the branch of the tree into this box, of course.
But they're up the tree, Evadne.
Then I shall take the stepladder. And I can use your ostrich feather instead of a brush.
They're about 60 foot up it, dear. I mean, even with your peculiar height, you're not going to be quite able to reach that far. What's that?
It's the bees. They're off.
Oh, quick then, quick, Evadne. We must go after them. Do something.
Very well. Grab the coal shovel and the poker, dear, and follow me. You bang, I'll shout. Tang, tang, tangity